Hi, my name is Wyatt Golden, and my assignment is going to be about Aldo Leopold's writing My Land Ethic. So, in My Land Ethic, Aldo Leopold was basically explaining his own feelings about the ethics that he thinks that we should be applying towards the way we treat the environment and the land that we use, and basically just talking about how the ethics that we that humans use as a whole generally, like for a long time we've had different cultures have had different morals and different standpoints that they believe in. So he's basically just talking about how we can take those and apply that outside of our own little bubble in our species and civilizations and such. So I'll start off by discussing my reactions and opinions after reading his piece, The Land Ethic. My first reaction to it was that I agree with him on pretty much everything he said. Aldo Leopold, he was an avid outdoorsman, and he was super into hunting, fishing, all that stuff, and he really appreciated everything that the outdoors and nature had to offer. And I think that, first of all, that's a good common ground for me and him to have some common interest and beliefs in, because I'm also a big outdoorsman, hunting and fishing and all that. So it would make sense that me and him would agree on a lot of things from that standpoint. So my initial reaction was that me and him just have a lot of common ground and interest in that standpoint. Let's see. Some opinions that I had about reading this was that, like I said before, I agree with him on a lot of stuff. I think that even though people have different morals and ethics, when you come down to just a general idea of it, it's just what's good, what's bad, what's wrong, what's right. So, anyways, I think that if people can just get down to the basics of that, what's good and what's bad, just the way like you treat people, the way you treat anything, and apply that to the environment, I think he's got a good point. He's definitely onto something there to protect the environment for future generations, and just to treat it with more respect in general, as we should. Any other reactions or opinions that I could just think of off the top of my head? Yeah, it's basically just, environmental ethics. If we can apply that amongst ourselves, then why don't we apply that in other areas of life as well? That's whether that's anything, going to the store, working, which I guess that's other areas of human life, but I mean in nature as well, just any endeavor you're doing, try to apply the correct morals and ethics towards that. So I guess I'll move on there to my interpretation of his message in The Land Ethic. And that's kind of just, it's going to be a big expansion on kind of just what I already said. Aldo Leopold was saying that in The Land Ethic, that the ethics that we use, with each other, like I've already said, that if we can do that, then why can't we do that out in nature? If we can respect nature and take care of that, and not just take advantage of it and use it for our own needs and how we would like to do so, then we'll get that respect back in the long run. Everything that goes around kind of comes around in a sense, so respect nature and nature will respect you. And yeah, it's just why should we not exercise these same ethics that we already have been exercising since we were little? Why don't we exercise that out in nature as well? Do any of those species or organisms out there not deserve the same treatment that we would expect from our friends and family, or that we would give to them? So let's see. My land ethic and environmental ethics. Here I'll just talk about a few of my personal influences and how my land ethic was kind of formed, and just environmental thoughts and how all that came to be in my mind, at least. So I'll start off by talking about some of the influences that I had. I would say that the biggest influence that started off just my general interest in nature and the environment would definitely be the early experiences that I had hunting with my family growing up. my dad, he used to have a lease on the J Ranch, which I believe it is the oldest functioning cattle ranch in Texas, and it's a really big ranch. And anyways, we'd go out there and we'd go and shoot a bunch of pigs, do some deer hunting and stuff, all that. And I think that's what really kind of got me started with just my major interest in outdoors and everything, related to hunting and all that. That's what started it. And I mean, soon after that, my grandpa, he got involved with us. He'd go out there and we'd ride four-wheelers around and hunt pigs. He'd eventually start taking me kind of on our own little hunts, just me and him, like he'd take me out to some spots that he knew or do whatever. We'd go shoot some vermin, do some bird hunting. Every now and then, like, we went on a couple deer hunts, but yeah, I'd say that's what really started off my interest in all this stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we shot a lot of pigs out at the J Ranch. Just started hunting at an early age. Oh yeah, another thing is when I was younger, we started raising cattle, and we never really had a whole lot. Like, we didn't have a major operation or ranch going on, but I mean, we lived out in the country and we had a few extra acres. So I think at the most we had 7 or 8 head of cattle, and we just raised them for beef. But that kind of introduced me to what it's like in the agriculture side of things, what that world's like. And it just showed me everything that goes into actually taking care of your own animals and raising them, and really just how that industry kind of, functions and all that. So that's another thing that really got me some experience, and that's helped shape my ethics on the environment and just nature in general, because agriculture is a big part of that as well. Fishing as well. Early experiences, yeah, I can't go without talking about fishing. I started hunting at first, but fishing was kind of something I just got into by myself. My dad was never really a big fisherman, and so yeah, me and my brother just kind of went fishing one day and caught some fish, and just ever since then we've loved it. But yeah, ever since I was little, my grandparents have always lived out in the country as well. And they didn't always have it, but they bought this lot at one point, and it had a little pond on it, and that's where me and my brother caught our first bass. And ever since then, we've been really avid bass fishermen. We like to go fly fishing every chance we get, and obviously I've spent a lot of time out in nature appreciating it, from those experiences. And I think that really I would say fly fishing is definitely my favorite, but that I'll use that as a good example, though, is when in all the experiences I've had out, fly fishing, it's definitely a different, kind of environment. There's no people around. It's just out in the mountains, cold river streams. And it's definitely, it's a different kind of world, like it just feels like a complete escape from reality in a way. And so I really think that if you think about just like throwing out trash into that river, or just not respecting it, not watching how you tread out there, that's obviously, to me and to most people, that would be bad ethics and bad treatment of that environment. And I think that's a prime example of what Aldo Lupo was trying to get across, is why would you want to treat an environment like that? It's such a beautiful place. You want to uphold that for future generations, for the next time you go back, for your friends, family, all that. So if we can exercise these same ethics that we've always used with each other to just make things run smoother and keep things going good, then why not use that in the environment as well? I think is definitely the main message that Aldo Lupo was trying to get across, and I agree with him on all that stuff, and definitely all those experiences that I've talked about in my life, that's kind of what's helped form that, and kind of brought me to my current mindset on that subject. So I'll just kind of close this out by just kind of reviewing everything I went over and closing out. So yeah, for a review, it's just the same ethics that we employ in our everyday lives. We just need to be a little more mindful of using that all the time. It's not just about how we're treating other people, how we're treating ourselves, things like that. It's also about how we're treating the environment, thinking about how it's going to be changed in the future, saving that for future generations, which I think that's exactly what Out a Loophole was trying to get across. And yeah, that's basically a complete review of the message I was trying to get across. So I'll go ahead and close that out. Thank you.